Grüß Gott aus Regensburg. Good day to you all. Just making a quick video because the sun's popped out and it's lovely now. Obviously it was a little fresher this morning. So here I am by the cathedral square in Regensburg in Bavaria in Germany. Off to the Cass. I have a pickup, have my cab coming at 3 this afternoon to take me to the Cass, where I'll be playing some cards later. Probably towards the weekend. There's a poker tourney on, so wish me skills for that. It's a good easy start to the year with 380 rubles buy-in. You get me eased in, get me back into the swing of things. Here. Just thought I would check in. Might be more interesting than text posts. They don't seem to. Text alone often doesn't garner much interest online, so we can try it this way. So if you follow me down to the Danube, because I haven't actually seen the Danube, I've been here a couple of days. I'm going to try to walk down to the Danube now that the weather's nice. Before I bog off to Czechoslovakia. Talk about nostalgia. I don't think it's called that anymore. My mum would remind me. The joke would fly over her head. Funnily enough, and that's not my hotel I stayed in, but that is also the name of a well-known poker tournament. I might not even be playing that one this year. I have bigger fish to fry. So yes, you follow me through town and I'll at least lead you to the Danube. Oh, feel that winter sun on my face. There's actually a trace of warmth in it. So for me, yes, life's been all right. Can't complain. Oh look, the Danube down there. Let's see what we can find. If I don't have anything much to say, you can always just enjoy the view. So after I'm done with the poker, I have a week at King's. I'm staying on the resort, so I have a week at King's to play a bit of cards, and then I'm off to Prague, a city I've actually never been to before. I've never been to Czechia before, so there's a first time for everything. I've never been to Czechia in my life, so this will be something new. I'll check out Prague for about a week, then hopefully maybe have my hair chopped and off to warmer, sunnier climes. Off to the Middle East first, and then back to Asia, and then back to Europe. Yeah, all these hops on all these long flights. Yeah, back to Europe for some more cards, and to see Mum in April because she's having a special birthday. So I have to do something. So I have something planned. So I'll be staying with her at the time of her special birthday. We'll have to do something together on her special birthday, I'm sure. She's off on a cruise before that, but there's a surprise. You see, the Danube is a little bit energetic today. It's quite a nice view though. The breeze is a little fresher down here, so I probably won't hang out by the river for too long. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad day. I think they said about 8 degrees, but it definitely does not feel that warm. Not anywhere near it. Look behind you, 2 yellow buses. Oh, there's a bit of wet mud there, don't want to fall over. See, it's a bit muddy down here. It's not every day you see me walking about in Germany and strolling about. So I have a little time to kill. Well, look what I found. My OCD doesn't like this. Somebody's left a... Oh no, there's actually no... I was thinking someone left the phone off, the payphone off the hook, but there's actually no handset on it. Maybe I'm too old school thinking about a payphone. Who uses those? See the winter trees? Bare of leaves. I don't know if I'm in the mood to talk about anything important or anything topical. It's funny that. And he might not want me to bore you with any crap about politics or economics or anything else. I mean, but some of it ties in with one's aims in life. I mean, I have an aim, maybe in the next, I don't know, sometime in the next 18 months to try to land a decent residence permit of some kind somewhere. There aren't many good options, to be honest. There's everywhere you look, there's always a catch. This is actually turning out not to be too bad. A little stroll here along the river. Nice bridge, isn't it? Ooh. With all this mud and wet stuff, I just have to be careful not to trip while I'm filming. Hey, it's me again. And no, I'm not standing in front of a Claire's shop because I've done that already. I think I've done 9 of those now. There'll probably be more. Wherever I spot a Claire's shop, I'm not always looking out for them. Often I'm not, I just find them. But sometimes I do seek them out, but not always. I don't think muchly of the shop actually, but I do think muchly of the name. And the shop actually has a nice logo with my favourite colour as well. It's funny how things like that happen. Yes, so sad, sorry to disappoint you, the big hairy animal is not an orangutan, but it would be funny if it was. Oh look, another yellow bus. Obviously I don't have that long before I have to hop back to my hotel to get my cab. It's 3 o'clock. That's due. Someone called, I think my driver's called Yenda. Right, Jenda, I think. And I was thinking that to an English speaker that might sound a bit like a girl's name, but I was thinking no, it probably isn't a girl. And a quick check, and of course in the Czech, no pun intended, in the language of Czech, Česky. It's just the Czech name, the Czech version of John, as I suspected. Not being a Czech speaker, I mean beyond Dobrý den and Děkuju and stuff, and I do know maybe the occasional few colourful Slavic words, like the one beginning with K and the one beginning with B, but try not to use those. Oh look, there's a little political graffiti on the opposite bank of the river. Can't quite read that, but I can see Does that say cracker? And then it says gegen die AfD. So against the AfD. AfD is a kind of German patriot party, to which some people refer by less endearing names. I mean, I've looked at their basic platform, and many aspects of their platform I actually like, but not the anti-immigrant stuff, but some other stuff that they are proposing actually sounds really good. But the anti-immigrant stuff is nasty, unfortunately. If you could take, and don't get me wrong, being against, subsidized mass immigration doesn't in itself make you the R word or anything, but, and that's a fair point, but when they start talking about, what's the term they were talking about, something like re-migration, and it just has shades of less pleasant things, if you know what I mean. And I'm not meaning that as a needle specific to Germany, because that mentality could exist anywhere, and it's not a uniquely German thing by any means. One of the reasons that Germany and Russia were susceptible historically to totalitarianism was because they were big countries with big governments and empires, so they were more susceptible to it. Well, that's my theory anyway. It's not necessarily anything innate in German or Russian people. People are just people. See, now I've got the signal. You don't jaywalk, you have to think about the children. Oh, it's the Bavarian History House, and there's a little museum. It's a very sort of dystopian building, isn't it? It looks like a warehouse. How very sort of efficient and decidedly Teutonic. Not that this is an unpleasant town, it isn't. By any means. It's distinctly nestled in Freistaat, Bayern. It's been a while since I've been here, and when I was at Munich airport, yes, I came in on the flight from Florence, and I flew Air Dolomiti, and that was trouble-free, somehow. And that was a trouble-free journey. And this girl came up to me because I think I was faffing for some change. I was in the concourse faffing, there was a short delay, a baggage reclaim, no big deal. I was faffing about for change in my pocket, and this young woman approached me, and she spoke fluent English, and she just started a conversation in English. She had one of those survey board thingamies she had in her hand, and she wanted to do one of those wanted me to spend 5 minutes doing a stupid survey, so I agreed. And that was actually all in English. But I did tell her that, because it was some of the questions were about what your experience of Munich airport. It's a new airport, you see, and I actually told the girl myself. I said, well, it's a lot better than before. It was dirty and not so pleasant 40 years ago. And she sort of said, what, 14? No, I said, no, 40. Well, nearly 40 years since I've been in Munich airport. She said, oh, wow, it's not the same airport. I said, no, I suppose it's not. It was the old airport in the city. But that was the last time I used Munich airport. It was transiting, it was 1987. I don't think I've been... Oh, I have been in Bavaria since then, briefly 2010 as well. I was down by Lindau very briefly, 2010. But I haven't been in these parts for 15 years, and when on my road trip last year I drove through Baden-Württemberg, I don't remember driving into Bavaria. I don't think. Or did I? No, I must have done briefly. I must have passed Lindau, because I did drive back that way when driving to Slovenia, so tell a lie, I passed through a tiny bit maybe in the car, but that was very little. It's easy to forget things now. When you're old and senile like me, I mean, I'm 21, right? I'm sticking to that story. I'm 21 years old, but still old and senile sometimes. I'd like to say I look like I'm 21 years old, but sadly that's not the case. I'm not being carded anymore. I have to card myself. You don't want to keep looking at my 21-year-old face, do you? I found a nice little spot. It's very quiet. It's like Café Bistro Jolie. sort of trying to pretend to be French. There are people in there. I've had a little nibble. I had a quiche just now, and a quiche and coffee. Maybe I can nibble something else before I head off. Do you know that German sausage? It's the worst. The jokes will deteriorate over time as well. But you know, in German there's a saying that everything has an end, but a sausage has two. So we walk back to the waterfront, to the riverfront. There's a little cruise ship there, yeah. Donauschifffahrt, Kristallkönigin. And this is a new modern spelling reform with Schifffahrt with 3 F's, which is hilarious. I don't know if that's better or worse than using 2 F's. It's triple F is kind of strange though. But that's, I think, the standard thing now done in modern day, in contemporary High German, is to spell Schifffahrt with a triple F. There's Schiff with 2 F's and then Fahrt. I suppose you could have them as 2 separate words with hyphens, but the done thing now is is to make a compound word but with the triple F. And that's now the accepted spelling, I think. Don't necessarily take advice on German from me though. It's not my first language. And I don't get to practice it all that much, although good shout out to my Swiss friend Patrick, because he's helped me practice a bit. Like when I saw him last in, where were we together? In Zug, and we did speak German. And as my head was starting to burn out a bit, he said, well no, you just speak English. But when I visited you in England, we spoke English. Now we're in German-speaking Switzerland, we speak German, and that's fair enough. And I need the practice. But remember, German is still the most widely spoken language in Europe. It's easy to forget that. Just like Mandarin is the most spoken language on earth. You know, I was thinking before that Bahasa was right up there, like about the 5th or 6th, but then I forget that for a lot of Indonesians, it's actually their second language. So it's not quite as straightforward as all that. And for anyone who wants to suggest, like Google suggests, that Bahasa Indonesia and Bahasa Malaysia aren't the same language, then you'd have to say that Brazilian isn't Portuguese. And the difference between a language and a dialect is something one could debate, one could argue the toss about forever. Let's not dive down that path. Let's stick to safe topics like religion and politics, shall we? Notice making live videos, it's not live, but making videos like this is one way one can walk around aimlessly without walking around aimlessly. I can also show you a lot of different coloured buses. There's a yellow bus, you've seen lots of yellow buses. There's a blue and white bus, and there's a green and white bus. There's a number 5 and the number 13 heading into town. That shop there is called Donaularden Kiosk. Oh, how original. Germans are so original sometimes. We can just about see like the little sticky bits of the sticking out, spirey bits of the cathedral. I walk up to the Toucan crossing here. It doesn't have a button, so I'll just wait, again thinking of the children. There are some German crossings that actually let you play a video game while you wait to discourage jaywalking, but this one isn't so fanciful. I think Bavaria might be slightly behind the times. It's a bit old-timey down here. I think maybe my personal experience is maybe here in southern Germany they're a little bit more friendly than in the north. Maybe the pace of life is just a little bit slower. And well done if you get that reference. Can't resist those little things. It's like if I'm on the tube in London and the train stops at Baker Street. Anyway, you get the idea. Hey, don't fault me. At least I have a personality. Love it or loathe it, at least I have one. I quietly complain that a lot of people, dare I be ageist, I say especially younger people, can be a little, or at least ostensibly a little gormless and lack personality. Well, that's one thing you can't say about me. I might not be the most exciting person in the world, but I do actually have some semblance of personality, I think. I don't want to blow my trumpet too much. But we're allowed to blow our own trumpet from time to time. If you don't love yourself, how can you love anyone else, right? So there's safe topics like religion and politics. Oh, philosophy as well, of course. I'm shallow, but not that shallow. Turns out making a little video while strolling around Regensburg on a perhaps slightly better than average day weather-wise was not the worst plan. I kind of did it on a whim. Ooh, which way to go? Well, that way is back down to the riverfront, so just carry on straight on, or geradeaus, as you say in German. Have to dig deep into that schoolboy German. Lots of little alleys everywhere. Goodness knows how much bandwidth it's going to take to upload this video, because it's all in, well, it should all be in HD. So there is that. It should be. I'll try to leave it in HD. I don't know how my phone's memory is going to handle this, because sometimes on long videos it conks out because it uses too much memory, but so far so good. Often when I make these videos, listening to my own voice, well, no, I'm not that embarrassed to listen to my own voice, but sometimes it's a bit cringe, and so I try not to listen before I upload. It would be too cringe, and maybe I never would upload. So you've come back to the cathedral now. I have to keep an eye on the time as well. That runs away with you. Well, if you know English, you don't have to be able to speak German to figure out what that means. Not all cognates are false friends, that one isn't. I'll come back round down the cathedral square, and probably at that point, unless I have a very good pressing reason, I might just let you all off the hook. so I can gather my thoughts and be on my merry way to Czechoslovakia. It's not very far. It'll probably take an hour or two. It's kind of funny that my first arrival in Czechia will be by cab. Not by plane, not by train, not by coach, but in a, well, what I think is a cab, a transfer cab. It's provided by the CAS, so just don't ask the price. It's not free. Don't ask the price. But notice the cobbled street. Cobble. It's all cobbled. So I've walked around in a nice little circle here. Oh, that sunshine's delightful. The winter sun is delightful. Die Wintersonne ist ja toll. There's a hat maker at the cathedral. Weren't expecting this, were you? Might fancy doing a few more of these. So shout out to all the nice people. And if you're not nice, what are you doing on my feed anyway? If you're not nice, bog off. And if you're nice, well, I love you to bits, as you know. There's no limit to that. Yeah, cathedrals always have scaffolding on them, don't they? Probably bid you a quick truce. Servus, as they like to say down here as well. Best wishes and onward and forward to the CAS. To a new CAS. I've never been to Kings before, so it's a new experience. I'll let you know how it goes. Schönen Tag. Tschüss.